Hi, welcome to the Pro-Pilot Playbook podcast. I'm Mike Martin, and I'm a corporate pilot.
And I'm Sean Ritchie. I'm also a corporate pilot. We've been doing this to combined experience of over 50 years in and around aviation. And welcome to the podcast.
Yes.
That was 100% built just for somebody to become a pilot faster and cheaper. That is our entire mission here.
That's right, yeah, and we're going to address a quick question that we get offered a lot or asked a lot in this podcast, and it says, what does it take to be an airline pilot?
Yeah, what are the requirements to be an airline pilot?
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at the Google numbers too, that's number one thing. What does it take to be an airline pilot?
Yeah. First thing we'd like to start by saying is people think it's a license, a pilot's license. You need a pilot's license, right? So you go get your pilot's license, and then you apply for a job, and you become an airline pilot.
Yeah.
It's actually not exactly like that.
Yeah, it's not just one license. By the time you would get to be a airline pilot or a corporate pilot or professional pilot, there's several licenses, or what we call certificates in the aviation world.
Right. First one is the most common is the private pilot's license, and that's the one that allows you to fly for fun in good weather in small airplanes. And that is a fun license to get, but it's the same license that you'll see guys buzzing around and little Cessnas around on the weekends at some of your local airports. So that's the first license that you get.
Right, and then on top of that, besides certificates or the licenses, there are these add-on things the FAA calls ratings, and these allow you to do extra things with that license. So the typical next step a person would get after their private pilot's license, which allows you to fly not for hire, you can't be paid to fly for anybody as a private pilot, but is the instrument rating, which is an add-on to any certificate, and that allows you to fly without being able to see out the windows or in bad weather. So if you just had your private pilot's license without that instrument rating, you could only fly on nice days and basically
no clouds,
no
rain.
Clouds,
yeah.
Right, exactly. And then from there,
then your next rating or license would be your commercial pilot's license. And what that does, that allows you to fly for money.
Yep.
You're not allowed as a private pilot to take or exchange any kind of money for any of your services. In other words, if you have a private pilot's license and you're in Tampa and somebody really wants to go to Georgia and they're like, hey, man, I'll give you $300 to fly me up there, that's a big no-no.
Yep.
Now, once you receive, and there's a little more to it than that, but once you're a commercial pilot's license, then you can work for certain operators and get paid for what you do.
Right. But that is not necessarily the big license that lands you at the airlines. The jobs that a commercial pilot can do are more along the lines of banner towing. Mm-hmm. You can be a flight instructor. You can fly skydivers. You can do aerial photography. You can give airplane rides. These are the things that the commercial pilot certificate was more built for, or in today's day and age, is for building time.
Right.
These are small end jobs that may or may not really involve carrying passengers.
Right. So once you get the commercial license, your goal then is to build flight time, because all these airlines have minimum time requirements. And if you look at our course, the Pro-Pilot Playbook, go to pro-pilotplaybook.com. It's a very extremely in-depth course on exactly what it takes to be a pilot and how to launch your career quickly and cost effectively, and we'll cover this in great detail. I think there's an hour just on what
this is kind of a quick brush over just to answer some questions, but
but the most common step would be to get your become a certified flight instructor.
Yep.
And that's what most people do. CFI, and that allows you to teach people in small planes, not jets now, teach people in those very small planes that you're ready to fly in how to fly. Well, when you're teaching them, you get paid, and then you also get to log that flight time that someone else is paying for. That allows you to accumulate hours and then get you closer
to your 1,500 hours, which is the bare minimum requirements to get on with any airline as per set by the FAA. So that is the main goal. You got to get your private, your instrument, your commercial, and then get to your 1,500 hour mark, and then boom, you're at the airlines.
Yep. So hope this finds you well. If you know anyone that's interested in flying or getting into flying, please turn them on to our podcast. We hope to bring you live content every week, or even more than that, on helping you get into aviation.
Yes, that is correct. And I really feel like we're we're dropping some great information here.
Yeah,
I mean, when we started this, I think I mentioned at one point in one of the episodes that, I feel like we would be doing a disservice to the aviation industry if we didn't start this, because this subject matter does not exist out there anywhere.
Right. Nobody's truly educated. I mean, you can Google it and find bits and pieces on the internet, but no one's really teaching people what it's like to actually be a pilot. And I don't even know if encouraging is the right word, because this product really sells itself. But once you learn out more about it, it's a lot of people would probably be interested in doing
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can always, and we'll answer it right on the show. We do episodes where we just run through a bunch of questions people email us. So you can send those emails in at podcast@propilotplaybook.com. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.